financial team comes in and tells me what I need to know. I can find out everything I know to run my business by punching these buttons. And that was the end of the lawsuit. I have some buttons on my desk in my office. For a long time, I only had one button. It answered all my questions. And I would push it, and that person would come in and tell me what I need to know to run my business. She's still telling me what I need to know. She had to tell me I had the wrong tie on tonight for the first tie I put on. I only had one button. As the company grew, I'm the visionary. I don't know all the details, but I got those buttons. And I added buttons to my machine. And I got Carl Troia. Notwithstanding the fact he's Italian, he's a dang good attorney. Carl Troia, we want to take a little bow there so people know where you are. He'll be following me. If I have legal requirements, legal advice I need, I'm pretty good at negotiating a contract, and I can get the price established between the seller and the buyer. I have no idea how to write or how to protect myself. Don't need to know. I punch my button, and Carl comes in and takes care of it. I have other buttons. I got this guy, Dan Klattenhoff. Where's Dan Klattenhoff? Dan's my nephew. I went in the Air Force in, when did I go in? 58. I got out in 78. They needed a replacement when I got out. Guess who went in? Dan Klattenhoff. My nephew went in the Air Force in 79, followed me in. 20 years later, 2000, 2000, I'm running the management company. I'm a visionary. I don't like all that detailed stuff. I needed somebody to run this management company. Dan's getting out of the Air Force. I fly to Germany. I interviewed Dan. I said, Dan, you replaced me when I got out of the Air Force. Now I want you to replace me again. So he came to Omaha in 2000 and worked with me for about a year in the management company. In 2001, took it over, and he's the president of our management company, has been ever since. So he replaced me twice. Where's Doug? As we grew and grew, we needed very, very sophisticated property management. Dan needed it. If Dan needed it, I needed it. And we needed to get somebody from the industry that had a lot of really high-tech experience in 15 to 18 years in running multifamily and doing construction work and doing rehabilitation work and doing value-added work. Value add, you're going to hear more of tonight. Value add. When you buy a property and you do something to it so you can add the value and charge more rents, that's a big plus if you do it right. It's a big headache if you do it wrong, so you better make sure you're doing it right. Doug Hastings brought that expertise to the team. Now the button. I'm fast working myself out of a job, right? Which is great. My last button, and a really important button, is Shirley Overly. Where's Shirley? Oh boy, what can I say about Shirley? See, most of you tonight, this has been almost an emotional evening for me out there in the other room, because so many of you I haven't seen for so long, because I used to sit at your kitchen table, but now, you don't invest with me anymore. You just talk to Shirley. And that's the way it should be. Shirley is, of course, now co-owner of the securities company, and really runs the security company for me, so I can, what is it? Oh yeah, I'm the visionary. I can stay out here looking around as the visionary and look for more property and new investors and so on and so forth. Shirley Overly has brought a tremendous asset to this team, not only in the Haley Securities wing of the three companies and raising money. She's the smartest strategist of our group. Me, Dan, Doug, Carl. Shirley Overly is the smartest strategist as far as the numbers and projecting in our underwriting department. Well, so that's Shirley Overly. I mentioned a minute ago, and I'm about ready to turn this over to Carl. I mentioned a minute ago that the 5 things that make this company go, you know, our competition and new development, our management, our capital expenditures, keeping the property well. What can cause it to fail? What can cause our company to fail? There's 2 things. One is we mismanage what we have. We're not doing that. We're not going to do that. Theoretically, if you have any folk that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, you can replace them with other people who are doing it correctly. So it's fixable. It's fixable if you have a mismanagement situation going on throughout the company or even on one given property. The other thing that can cause this company to, a company like this to not perform, I won't say fail, but not perform, part of the business that I have personally stayed extremely close to, underwriting. Underwriting is the art of analyzing a property you're going to buy, being able to predict after you buy it what it will produce. Will it produce enough money to pay those investors what we want to pay them? Will the bottom line be there? That's underwriting. I started underwriting programming the underwriting program that we're using in 1997. We're now on version 59, and we're still updating it. And the 4 young people that work for Haley Associates that underwrite the property are key. Because the only way you can fix a bad underwriting, which means you paid too much for the property, the only way you can fix that is to find some other sucker to pay too much for the property and get rid of it. That's the only fix. That's not a good option. So underwriting is crucial. So every property, this will be talked about by my colleagues following me, but when we review the underwriting, before the underwriting goes into the seller saying, here's what we'll pay, we call that a letter of intent. Either Shirley or myself are going to review that underwriting before it goes to the seller, because it's crucial in our industry. And we got the best underwriting department there is. I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit. John Gaffillon sitting right there. He knows this story. We don't let this underwriting get out. We don't even show it to very many people because it's almost classified material, so to speak. But we did have one lender that we were borrowing couple $100 million from for various properties, and we wanted to convince him that we knew what we were doing. So we let him see our underwriting. We didn't give it to him, but we brought him in, let him review it, and see how we do it. He was a senior vice president of a large lending institution in the United States, and he said, Jack, your underwriters, see, and remember now, they underwrite too. A lender underwrites before they make the loan because they don't think we know what we're doing, right? He said, Jack, your underwriters intimidate my staff. They're so good. That was one of the highest compliments I ever had paid from a banker in the underwriting department. So that's kind of the big picture for you all. I want you to leave here today with more knowledge than you came with. I'm going to leave most of the meat to my colleagues. And first, the next person I want to share information with you is Carl Troya. Carl, thank you very much.